Hey, what's up everyone? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this video we are going to be reviewing the Marvel Legends X-Men 5-pack Classic Beast, and just like Iceman, this figure sucks. I don't like it at all. That's not to say every part of it is horrible. Some things they actually did really good on it, but the sum of the parts is absolutely not worth buying if you ask me. So let's get into the review. He stands about 7 inches tall, a little over 7 inches tall, and I was really looking forward to this. I like this look for Beast, the classic Beast with the human features, with just the kind of bigger hands and feet. I do like that, and the old 5-pack is obviously not a good 5-pack, and this one's actually not any better, believe it or not. So first things that come to mind are that they did some orange airbrush shading on the torso. They didn't do any on the lower torso, like the crotch and the hips area or the belt. So we have orange here and then nothing here, so that looks really off. There's none on the back. Doesn't look good at all. This kind of dark blue is an okay blue, but there's yellow coming through all over the place. Doesn't look good in any way, and this is the first time, well, maybe it's not, because Captain America was like that too a little while ago, but this blue's almost black and they couldn't cover yellow with it. So I don't know what's going on in the factories that are making the Legends figures, but they need to get that fixed. These figures are not high enough quality to warrant purchases, especially in a collector setting, which this 5-pack is. So I don't understand what's going on. I think it's a total disappointment, and I think Hasbro really needs to figure out what's going on and what they're going to do about it. Okay, so we do have some airbrushing on the skin tones for the arms, and the skin color is nice for the arms. The shading is supposed to look like the hair, I guess, and I have to say the hair part and the arms are actually sculpted really well, and the darker color gives it the right look, even though the airbrush shading doesn't really fit hair. But the hands are sculpted really well. I do like that. It's kind of hard to show them to you though, because there's no articulation in the lower arm. More laziness, complete laziness. Yeah, they sculpted a new arm for him, new arms, plural, but they didn't give us even a wrist swivel. What the heck? That's not acceptable. I don't think that a collectible set like this should have such low quality standards for these figures. Okay, so the heads now. Let's look at the heads. Individually, this head is sculpted just fine. I mean, it looks okay enough like Beast. His little seam thing up here, because his head is bigger, doesn't look as big and weird as the other ones that have that, but it's still just a really low quality looking head. I mean, it looks like a bad custom, to be completely honest. But let's look at it. So he's got the same stuff as our Hyperion. So he's got the neck with the hinge, and then it can swivel, of course. Full ball joint shoulders, bicep swivel, double jointed elbow, no wrist articulation at all. Already said that. Ab crunch is okay, but if you go up here, it's all flat and blocky again, just like Hyperion. Waist swivel is okay. The belt can move above or below that, so that's alright. At least they did paint a little bit in the belt with like a gold and then the black for the X, but it still just looks really cheap. T-jointed hips, which are fine. You know, that's okay. Still can't really get him in as much of a pose as I would like, but it's not horrible for Beast. I do wish we could get him in a little bit of a better pose. We have the thigh swivel, double jointed knees. We have a shin swivel just because Hyperion did, but the lower legs are bigger than the upper legs. So the part with the clothing looks like it's tucking into his skin, and that's no good at all. And the sculpt work isn't very good. It's just really cheap looking. The calves don't look right at all. The lower half doesn't line up with the top half. It just doesn't look good, guys. It's really disappointing. We have an ankle pivot and the ankle rocker, but in order to get his feet flat, they have to point out. The feet kind of stick out to the sides here, which is okay. I mean, I know Beast is supposed to have weird kind of looking feet, but in order to get him to stand completely flat, it just, I don't know. I want his feet to kind of look like that a little more and be less flared out to the side with the heel sticking out on this side. I don't know. I don't get why they sculpted it the way they did. And then they did the airbrush shading for the hair on the top of the feet too. And the feet themselves are not sculpted too bad. I like the sculpts. It's just the way they put the joints in and the angle of the feet that he kind of has to have them flared out to the sides. I'm not sure if you guys can tell what I'm talking about. If you put the heels flat, more of the foot is on the side of the figure than it is under the leg. So it's just weird. I don't care for that at all. And again, this Hyperion body has the worst, I don't know how to word it, anatomical structuring. it's just really, really bad. And then with these extra huge hands and little tiny biceps, it just looks even worse. It just looks really, really awkward. Now the good thing is that since it's Beast, you can kind of hunch him over a little bit, and then that fixes a lot of the anatomy problems because he's sculpted in a hunch anyway. So if you want to do that, it works for Beast better than it does for like Hyperion or Toxin, but it's still just a really, really disappointing figure. You can't get the feet to come very far forward, so you're not going to be able to put him in that crouching pose you want and have it look good, really. It's just going to be, I don't know, I can barely put him in that pose very well. So it's just, like I said, really, really disappointing. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more figure reviews, custom figures, and other good stuff. And in the meantime, keep collecting.